I finally did it, guys. I finally did it. 3 years of thinking about it. I bought my T500 Thinkpad last year, and I've finally done it. I've installed Arch, as is tradition. I use Arch, by the way. And you know, it took a long time to work up the courage to switch from Windows to Linux, right? And I started out on actually a Zorin OS, which they said was like a user, like a new user-friendly kind of distro. And I tried it, and really, I think you can kind of skip that one. It's okay. I still have it on a few computers, but you know, I really liked Fedora. And I think the main thing I liked about Fedora is the KDE Plasma 6 that was on it, which of course is just the desktop environment, and you can put that on basically whichever distro you want. So it didn't really make too much sense to keep using it only on, you know, only using Fedora. So I'm like, well, let me try out some other ones, right? And of course the meme is, you know, using Arch. I haven't gone deep enough to get into the Gentoo type stuff, but that might be a project in another few years if I ever get around to it. But yeah, so, you know, I watched some like Luke Smith videos. Watched it like 3 times trying to follow the tutorial until I realized that there's a command called archinstall that you can just use, and it takes you through all the same steps, but it does it for you. And I'm like, oh, well, that's wonderful, you know. Thank you, Luke Smith, for your wonderful tutorial. I'm too weak of a man. I did not I did not successfully complete all the steps, but you know, I enjoyed the learning process, and wasting like 3 nights trying to get Arch to install through using your tutorial, which I think, you know, the one that Luke did was for Artix Linux, which he said also was very comparable to the Arch thing, but I just wasn't advanced enough to like parse it over to the next thing. So, but anyway, it's on there. I put it on my ThinkPad. I didn't Libre boot it yet. I asked one of my local computer shops if anybody in there knew how to Libre boot it, and they actually asked me, they're like, so like, why do you need to Libre boot it? And I didn't know what to tell them. Like, I guess just for the meme of it, like. And at first the guy seemed like, oh yeah, well, we can do that. Here, let me just look on the website here. And apparently they had gone to like the pre-loaded devices that already had Libre boot on it. And I was like, well, I mean, like, I already have the T500. Can you guys put it on there? I don't have the equipment to flash I think it's like a CMOS is what it's called. You know, I've played around with like circuits and things like that before, but it was always in like a very sanitized like classroom setting. It wasn't like, okay, we're gonna open up the motherboard and like put the little pincher thing on the chip, and then we're gonna flash it with the Raspberry Pi. I have a Raspberry Pi, and I have the cords and stuff, but I don't have like the part that's actually supposed to put like contact on it. And apparently he was mentioning that you had to like solder it or something. I'm like, I definitely don't have a soldering iron. That's beyond what I do. So maybe that's another project that I'll get done, or have someone else do in a few months or so. But anyway, yeah, man, I did it. I feel good. It's a good day. It's always fun to do new projects, you know. I think that's one of the spice of life, where you learn something new and you implement it, and you get to reap the rewards of that. So now I have Arch Linux on there. What am I going to do next? Maybe I'll rice it up a little bit. I know I recently saw Pewdiepie's video where he like riced his thing up to make it look like nuclear reactors. I'm like, oh, that's so cool, man. You went with a theme and you ran with it. And so that's got me thinking, like, okay, if I were to set up my thing, what kind of theme would I want to do? Would I want to do it like islands for the different workstations? You know, it's like just like creativity. You know, what happened to all the creativity of my youth? I remember making things in like Windows Movie Maker, just like fun little videos and stuff, or even just like PowerPoints. I used to make PowerPoints for fun. You know, they used to have the thing with the animations, like you just like make things go around the page. And I really liked that kind of stuff. Just doing little creative stuff like that. Even making little videos like this, I think is really good for trying to reignite creativity, you know? Whereas before it's just like, you're going to do the bland thing. And I think the bland thing worked for a while, but I think I'm past that. I'm in a new phase of life. I want to customize things. I want to learn new stuff, learn new skills and all that. I saw another video by Louis Rossmann, with his FUTO, and he dude, I love Louis Rossmann, man. He put like a 12-hour guide together on how to completely open source your systems and how to set up your DNS. I listened to like 3 hours of it, but I was like away at like a camp thing, so I couldn't implement anything. But I just like listening to him, like, dude, this is amazing. Like, all this stuff is out there. People have poured their hearts and souls into this free and open source software that is available to anybody who has the time and effort to put their own system together. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And it's like, it makes me feel like a community again, you know? I did a video previously about how, like, in your own communities, there's like, you know, if you're poor, if you're broke in America, I think it's the name, what I called it, Broken America. You know, if you're poor, there's a lot of support for you, at least around where I'm from, you know, where you can get assistance, whether it's from the government, whether it's from a church, whether it's from, you know, private charities and foundations and things like that. And about how that, like, is a part of the community loves you. Like, inherently, by continuing to exist and provide these services, the community loves you. You can experience that love that's just out there, that's willing to share with one another. And I think that open source is another manifestation of that. Free and open source software is another manifestation of that, where people will make this stuff freely available for anybody who could get some utility out of it. And I think that's just a beautiful thing. If you think so too, leave your experiences with open source down in the comments. It looks like it's about to rain, so I'm going to end this video. Bye.